kitchen. I just haven't been bold enough to do it because it's going to be so much work. But I've got the pieces collected and it's all going to be done soon. And I'm recovering these chairs. They're just spent. And look at this fabulous fabric. So I'm going to make a slip cover with like a ruffled bottom. And this is a curtain that I got at the Pottery Barn outlet. And I think the color is going to be perfect. So it's a rainy day. And just wanted to show you guys like how dark the cabin can be. But it's also super cozy. We live in a temperate rainforest, so this is common. And I actually love rainy days, so this is a good day. And I mentioned on my Instagram stories, we're redoing this porch. This is the porch. This is my favorite porch. We have 3 porches, which makes small living easier because you get more space. So I like this area. This needs a new slip cover on it. And then over here and on this side, when they put this stove in, they're gonna run gas to our griddle, which is awesome. So we don't have to fill the gas up anymore. It's just a small, like a Blackstone knockoff. I really like it. And then the children want this table downstairs for playing poker and their games on their back porch. So we're gonna spray paint the chairs black, clean it up, and then I'm gonna be putting a sofa and swivel chairs, coffee table here, make it more of a loungy area. Just get it cleaned up, and it's just such a great place to read a book, do your homeschool. And we're more loungy furniture people than table people. And then here, this is where I store a lot of food. So it's cold out. Actually, it's still pretty cold. So I'm gonna put a table here. I found a really cool antique table that's gonna go here that will house our cooler, because I actually keep things in this cooler. That's buchi, kombucha, our greens, things that can stay outside will go on that section, because we do keep food and things outside. I get the question a lot, how do you protect the towers from the elements? You don't. You just let them grow outside. They like the rain. There's the timer. Excuse the mess of the projects for the raised bed gardens. There's a timer there. It's waterproof and everything does fine. Some of the lettuce will get real droopy with the weight, but it perks back up. It's already perked up on this side. All right, I just came out to the garage to harvest some greens. I'm trying to prepare a few things for food today, and we do have to leave. I normally don't have a car on Fridays, but we do have to leave today and run into town, and our road is washed out, so we have to take detour back roads in and out. It's probably going to be washed out for like 7 more weeks. There was a mudslide that just took out part of the road, so we're going on a little adventure today, and we got to take the long way, so it takes a little longer. And then it's the CrossFit Open, which if you're not familiar with CrossFit, it's just they do some competitive workouts, and that's how the people that are going to go to the CrossFit Games rank to get into the game. And I obviously don't rank, but we go do the open workouts as a gym. We have teams set up. It's really fun. So we're going to go back into town to do that. So we've got a busy day, kind of going back and forth. So I just want to do some food prep now when I have time, because that's what's going to set us up for success later on tonight when we get really hungry. I actually have so much food to harvest, and we need to be starting new things. I got behind. And this is a great example of why I always recommend starting seeds every couple of weeks, because actually I have a ton of things I can harvest, and I don't have enough starts to go into some of these spots that are ready. So I fell behind, and this is the consequence. But I'm gonna get harvesting. I'll see you guys inside. One thing I did do, because I knew it was gonna rain, is I broadcasted herb and flower seeds all throughout the permaculture landscaping here. And those are and along this side. And that'll mean lots of new seedlings in the near future. All right, what I'm gonna make are these little black lentils. And I don't really know what the official name is, but these are amazing to have cooked. I like to keep them pretty crunchy, and then we just add them to, oh, I just shut my sweater in the lid. Add them to burrito bowls, poke bowls, which is what I'm gonna make later, or anything. So we just have those cooked and ready to go. I also have a lot of dill and some sourdough that needs to be eaten. So I'm gonna make some chickpea untuna salad. So I'm gonna cook some chickpeas. These will go in the Instapot. These are going to soak for a couple of hours, and then I'll just cook them slow on the stove. All right, so we're back from our first errand. I'm about to make a poke bowl, and it is all the greens I harvested earlier. This is arugula, cilantro, just dark leafy greens, kales, a little bit of lettuce. I'm gonna finely chop this, and I do rice, warm rice. I'm gonna do some tofu, all these greens, which is quite a bit. There's probably at least 4 handfuls in there, and avocado and red onion. And the dressing is a ginger, I don't know, it's just something I made up. I just eyeballed it. It's the actual recipe is in my Ultimate Tower Gardening book. But it's a little bit of oil, good quality olive oil, toasted sesame seed oil, amino acids, rice wine vinegar, and then I add honey from my fermented ginger. So it tastes like ginger. It's ginger fermented honey. I also put in dried cilantro just because I'm trying to use some up. That was some freeze-dried cilantro, and I put pieces of the ginger in there. When I come across those, I just eat those as well. So good. So to ferment ginger honey, you just take ginger, peel it, slice it however you want, pour honey over the top and let it sit. It stays good forever. So I use that all the time. So I'm gonna finish chopping this up, and I am gonna cook my tofu. I'm gonna put a little dressing on it and cook it in the air fryer just to firm it up a little bit and then eat because I'm starving. I also have some leftover mushrooms that I dipped in sourdough discard and lightly fried yesterday. So I'm snacking on those, as well as bell peppers. When I have extra bell peppers or peppers of any sorts, I love to dip them in sourdough discard and lightly fry them. They are so good. I will eat this between now and the end of the day. I can't eat all of this at one sitting because I'm going to CrossFit and I can't fill my stomach up. So I'm going to take 2 handfuls of greens, chop them up, and then I will eat this. And then when I get home from the gym, I'll eat the rest. I have a big green juice for later, and I might finish some mango, and that will be my food for the day. I love onions. I'm gonna do a lot of onion. Avocado.
And one of the things over the years I've discovered on my health journey, using food to reverse my health struggles, because that is what I did. I used a raw vegan diet to reverse 10 years worth of health struggles where I had been trying all the modern medical ways to fix it, and it was actually making it worse. So I like to keep food really simple, and I often just eat the same thing all day. So this is what I ate during the day with a giant green juice. So I ate it twice and had a green juice. And that's fine, and that works for me. I have learned that I don't have to, think of food as like a protein, starch, and vegetable every meal, and that it's okay to mono eat. Sometimes I'll just eat fruit if that's what's available. It's more about eating a lower calorie diet because there is a lot of information linked to health connected to less calories and eating clean foods.
All right, I decided to add kohlrabi. This is from the garden. I harvested this yesterday. This is a smaller one. They can get a little bit bigger than this grown indoors, but they grow amazing and super fast. And the greens are great. I'm just gonna juice the greens. Actually, I may cut them up and eat the greens later. I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna add them to my bowl of greens here. And then this, I'm just gonna slice this, marinate it in the dressing, and cook it with the tofu.
And I eat a plant-based diet, but I believe in food autonomy. I have people in my house that choose to eat meat. I find it more important to eat clean food and lots and lots and lots of greens. It's one of the reasons I love the towers so much. Greens are such a powerful superfood we can add into our diet, and they're so simple to grow and simple to add to meals when you get in that habit. So even though obviously I share plant-based when I'm sharing these kind of vlog style videos, because that's what I eat, I do not promote like a specific diet or have any opinions on how other people choose to eat. Aside from, we should all be, trying to grow some of our own food and eating as healthy as possible in whole foods form.
You can eat these raw. They're actually really good raw. Oh, you know what else I have? I ordered sunchokes to go into the garden. And I ordered some to eat too. So a sunchoke is a root tuber. It grows sort of a sunflower. The flower looks like a daisy to me, but it's in the sunflower family. And it makes a root under the ground. You plant them once. Can you do that over there? It's shaking real bad. You plant them once, and then they come back. You'll have them forever. So just be mindful of where you plant them. But I ordered a couple of bags from Azure Standard, and I've gotten a question before where we get all this bulk food. I'll put a link below. We get it from Azure Standard. You have to find a drop coordinator in your area. I'm actually a drop coordinator. It's super easy to do if you don't have one in your area and you want to set one up. But I ordered those from Azure, and I'm going to be planting them out in a raised bed, and then I'll make a YouTube on how to eat those. They're really good. I love them. They're kind of remind me of like a watercress combined with a turnip combined with a kohlrabi. It's a unique food and a survival food, or a permaculture food, whatever you want to call it. Just a food that you plant once and you have forever. All right, I'm gonna add the dressing, massage it in, and eat. Finish editing YouTube. We're gonna head to the gym, head CrossFit. The house is gonna start falling apart behind me because the teenagers are gonna start making things and eating. One of them is dancing ridiculously in front of me. One thing I like about this area we live in is when I go to friends' houses, they're like this, like ferments and random sprouts and herbs and tinctures all over their counters. So it looks messy, looks cluttered, but it actually is how we feed ourselves around here. So hope you don't mind, and hope you can get a taste of just like Appalachian homes. I would say most of my friends' houses look like this, kind of a mess all the time, but it's because the focus is on real food, which is messy. Okay, the lentils, they are perfect. They don't take very long because I don't want them to get mushy. So I just like to put a little bit of heat on them, maybe 10 minutes on medium until they're tender but still crunchy. So we have these. I'm not going to add them to my poke bowl, but we have these for later for those who want to make burritos. Same as the chickpeas, that's for tomorrow. I haven't added the tofu, kohlrabi, or rice yet, but oh my gosh, guys. That dressing with this, with all these dark leafy greens, is so incredible. And the onion, and the avocado takes the bite out of the onion. So good. You could just make it this way and not add the other stuff I'm adding. So delicious. Or you could add you could add meat to this too, obviously. But with the dressing, I'll see if I can find the recipe and pin it below. But it's just the ingredients I said, and then do it to taste. So I would say, actually, it's probably 2 parts oil, 1 part vinegar, 2 parts honey, or 1 part. I'll see if I can find the recipe, and you can just play around with it until the taste. And there's amino acids. Okay, I'll find the recipe and put it below. All right, while we wait on this tofu, I actually need to juice because it's getting warm and these aren't going to stay good. These actually have hard shells on them already. The skin's dried up, which they're totally fine. I'm just opening them to get the juice out. The grapefruit looked pretty good. Let's juice some oranges, a grapefruit, 2 lemons, and I'm going to add in some greens that I have from the garden.
And I buy our fruit in bulk from different places. This box of oranges came from Azure Standard. The others came from a different food co-op. So you can just look around in your area or find different food co-ops. Most of our bulk stuff comes from Azure Standard, which the link is in the description below because it's easy and good quality. When I juice citrus, I take off the peels, and this is how I make orange juice too. So it is thicker, but I do like that you get some of the rind in there because there's minerals and nutrients and essential oils in that. And then I normally don't peel my lemon, like I said, but because these were so dried out, they would tear up my juicer. And my juicer is a Kuvings Revo 830. I will put that in the description below. It's amazing. I've been juicing for over 10 years as part of my health journey, and juicers have come a long way for the price, which is awesome.
I used to not be able to peel these because of my finger. It's better. Not 100%, but it's getting better. was just thinking like how much easier it is to do this activity right now. So I'm just peeling these. If they have bad spots, I'm getting rid of the bad spots. And you can put, this is a Revo 830 by Kuvings. Best juicer I've had in a long time. It will juice things like cleavers, which are a wild herb we get around here. Something you can, wild forage that's really good for your lymphatic system, but they're incredibly fibrous, and it can handle those. It can handle celery, and it can handle wheatgrass. It also makes nut milks, which is awesome, and it's by Kuvings. I'll put a link below. And I've been juicing over 10 years, and I've had a few juicers, and they have just come a long way. It's nice. It's easy to clean. It's easy to, it's made, I used to bulk juice and only bulk juice because it was so much work. And I still do that based on how much food we have to harvest, because I have a ton of food right now that needs to be harvested. I'm actually going to take you guys, we're going to go harvest some turnips. It got really hot in my garage. Is it working? Okay.
Yeah, I was just seeing if my food will be.
It got really hot in the garage, and they are bolting, which means going to flower and producing a seed. So I want to harvest those, and I'm just going to juice them because the roots weren't very big. And it just makes it so much easier. All right, we're back in the garage, and this is pretty much my day, guys. I go back and forth harvesting food. So we have a few things. This is going to bolt. I'm going to harvest this and eat it, and then this is going to flower. I don't know if all of them are. These smaller ones. Oh yeah, they're all. That's a root I can eat though, so I'm not going to harvest that one. I'm just going to take all these small ones. And that's plenty of greens for one juice. That is a ton of greens. Look at that goodness. So much nutrition, guys. And it's every day. Like, this is what I do. Come out, get the stuff, juice it. All right, here's all our greens. And just going vlog style here. I had shared on my last video, or one of them somewhere I shared, that I'm trying to do vlog, simple living lifestyle videos that go out on Sundays. It won't be every Sunday. I shared in a recent video why some of this lettuce is brown. So if you're curious about that, watch that. It's because I let it get past its peak. You always want to harvest your food at its peak, but it's totally fine. There's nothing wrong with it. I'll just cut off the brown pieces. And these vlogs are just to show simple living. Like, how do we grow the food and then eat it? Because I know that that can be a new concept for people as well. On like, what do you do after you grow it? And how do you eat all this food if we're trying to eat a really heavy, nutrient dense diet? So it's nice out. The sun came out. It's actually really warm. It's beautiful. Let's go ahead and juice this. All right, most of it was good. When food gets past its prime, if you let it grow too long, it hits a peak and it starts to decline. So a lot of times I'll see in groups and forums, like, what's wrong with my lettuce? It's got brown spots. It's just old. It's time to harvest it, start a new one. My chicken scrap bowl. And the sad thing when you let your food go too long is it was so beautiful and amazing, and then it went past its peak and now it doesn't look as good. And I should have eaten it when it looked amazing. That's when it's going to have the most nutrients.
So I often get the question why I juice instead of just eating the food, because the food has fiber and fiber is nutritious. I eat a very high fiber diet, and it's a very valid question, but there is a difference in the health benefits when you juice. So it's recommended you chew your food. I think it's like 34 or 35 times every bite. And then if you're eating a meat, like especially a tough one like steak, that you do 40 chews per bite. Now, I don't know if you have ever tried that, but 40 chews per bite is intense. 35 per bite is intense, and not many of us are willing to sit there and masticate our food that way to turn it into a liquid. So this is turning all of the food, chewing it. It's a masticating juicer, and it takes out all of the nutrition, leaves the waste, and so when you drink it, it's going directly into your cells and is fully absorbable. So it's medicine. I view this as like taking supplements, but in their purest form, because it goes right into your cells, it hydrates, and you don't have to work to get all of those nutrients, and you get a lot more nutrients because we are actually breaking it down properly versus the way we chew, which I don't know anyone who can actually stand to chew 35 times per bite.
Baby turnips on them, so much nutrition, and turnip greens are one of the healthiest greens on the planet. This juicer is different than some that grind them like a blender. I like this one better because I can just put it in and be done. But if you put greens in, you kind of got to make them into a ball if they're not super straight in order for them to fit in here. And I lost my plunger. There's a little plunger, but so the kids put it somewhere. All right, let's taste it. Good. Can taste the ginger. Oh, it's really nice. Can definitely taste the grapefruit. It's wonderful. I don't have any secrets to tell you as far as juicing goes, and I don't follow recipes because recipes are great if you buy the exact fruit that that person purchased and made their juice out of to make it taste good. Apples have a different flavor depending on the variety, the time of year, pears, all of that stuff. So when I first got into juicing, I was using some recipes and it wasn't great. Like, they were hit or miss because of that reason. So one thing I learned to do was to make green lemonade, which is pretty much the base of everything I do. And what it is just all the greens I want to use and then the fruit. So I'll do apple, lemon, ginger, greens, or I'll do oranges, lemon, ginger, greens, whatever it is. It's the same. So I'm just mixing fruit, lemon, typically doing ginger almost all the time in the greens, and that comes out because if this had been too thick, like if I added too many greens to balance it, then I can just juice another orange. Or it's definitely more grapefruity, but I like grapefruit. But to sweeten it up, I could toss in an apple or another orange to mild it down. So that's how I do my juice, and it's delicious.